Hello and welcome back to another episode, and we're going to do a rehash on yesterday's video because we had microphone problems. If you watched yesterday's video, and a lot of people actually said it started really abruptly, really weird, a little bit different to what I normally do. And if you're new here, I'm Minion J, work on behalf of the disgruntled octopus. This is the line supervisor, so it's not the disgruntled octopus. I've had a few people reach out to me. Like I said before, big, orange, handsome apparently, and angry looking. But going back to yesterday's video, it was a bit distorted. It ended abruptly, it started abruptly. So it was a bit of a mix mash and overall crap video, long story short. Reason why it started abruptly and started a little bit weird is because I spent 5 minutes on a tirade about Shane Soda City Flips, how he recommended this microphone to me. He didn't really, but I'm blaming him. And how it was all his fault and it was all crap and all these different things. So I cut that out because I didn't want to be taken out of context. Purely lighthearted. I do like Shane. And I've actually got the microphone working properly now, all as properly as I can do. And it's going a treat. So it's more user error opposed to Shane. However, Shane is not here and therefore Shane is getting blamed for it. And why it ended abruptly, geez, one day I'll learn to speak, is because the audio was so distorted by the time that came around. You couldn't make heads or tails of what I was actually saying, pretty much like I do normally. So it's no different at all. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to rehash a little bit for those that didn't persevere with yesterday's video. Thank you for those that did. It created a little bit more debate as to variation listings. I did have some people saying yes, and I had some people like Rye saying no, variation listings suck. So I'm just going to touch base on a really quick broad brush as to why I do variation listings. What I didn't mention yesterday, I use a program called Flipwise. Flipwise charges you per a listing. Well, they've got listing brackets in the sense you might get 25, 100, 500,000 listings, for example. That's the price points. If I create 250 listings, that's potentially going to push me up $20 a month for Flipwise. So that is another contributing factor as to my reason to do variation listings with this. What I didn't put it very eloquently yesterday, I was trying to drive up some fake hype, in the sense something like Funko does, right? So they release a Funko Pop, or another company might release a limited edition product. I used to be quite big on Mischief Toys, which are a YouTube couple. They released their own toy line, and they release it at 3 o'clock in the morning for Australia, and there's only like one or 200 units of these available. So I'm trying to get that little mindset behind the variation listing. I have created it. It's probably going to go live, what's today, Wednesday, maybe Friday or Saturday, depending on when I get time. I've already picked out the first 5 books. So if you want, we'll basically use this video a bit of a sneak peek as to what the books for the next day are launching. So we're actually having out Negative in Blue, which is 2 naked ladies on the front. We've also got the Creative Murders. Geez, I'm sensing a trend with this. There's another naked lady. The Dance of Death, these are various editions, but they're in decent quality. So I'm actually going to mix them up. The first lot are going to be, like one of the comments said, no, please, I forgot your name. Please take it personally. I've got a mind like a sieve. The Deep Cold Green, so that's another one. And the White Bikini, we do like the White Bikini. We mentioned it about 19 times yesterday. And the reason why I know that for is because I tried to edit that video so much to clean up the audio. If you had seen the very first iteration, or the raw file or the raw footage for that video that came out yesterday, you probably would have unsubscribed from the channel. And I wouldn't have came nowhere near to my goal of 50,000 subscribers by the end of the week. So if you haven't already, please consider subscribing, even if to make fun of me or basically get a wind of what's coming down range with the Carter Brown books. So, long story short, I've created the listing. I've had to put it in books. I know I was going to put it in antiques. I was going to double hat it in the sense that I was going to create it in 2 categories, pay the subtitle. So when you do 2 categories, so for example, you pay the 6 cents to insert it in the second category for Australians, you also get charged an additional $2.20 for each of those categories. So not only $2.20 for the one category, $4.40. So, however, because I wanted to add it into the antiques, I'm not too sure, but you can pretty much work out what I'm talking about regarding books. It was going to charge me $4.40, which is fine. Yeah, I was more than happy to pay that. However, that category does not support variation listings. So I've gone to base standard books. I typed in Carter Brown, smut, detective, pulp fiction into Google. Actually found a variation list. Jeez, either the Skylanders or variation listing. Maybe I'll just make this channel the variation listing channel or the Skylander channel. I've already got one of those. But yeah, so I typed it into Google and it came up with an Etsy listing that sold around about 2022. And I pretty much pilfered that title, threw it into ChatGPT and said, hey, look, make me a title regarding Carter Brown, vintage, paperback, smut, detective, pretty much copy and paste it, threw it in there, but limiting it to 76 characters, so then I can have my little octopus at the end. So what we did is we did that. It's come out, and you'll probably see in the next couple of days what the title looks like when I do it. I also did the same with the subtitle. I told ChatGPT to make me a subtitle advertising that 5 new Carter Brown books are coming out every day. And it limited it to 54 characters. So it came back with 53 characters, something like 5 new Carter Brown books every day, don't miss out. Whatever, along the lines of that. That's pretty much what it is, right? So, and like I said, on the piggybacking on the back of the YouTube, I'm also going to kind of give a sneak peek of what's coming down the range. So talking about a video day, when we finally get to February, we're closing in on the end of January, thank goodness, because these videos are exhausting. I do have a deep appreciation for anyone that does them on a daily basis and edits them. I just basically throw it into Filmora, do a AI normalization of the voice, so I'm not all over the place, and you don't have to listen to me, do weird sounds and snort and laugh at my own jokes like I normally do. And that's the extent of it, right? So I normally punch it out, do one take, do one talk. If I go on a little tangent, I might cut it out. Otherwise, I'll do it from that way. So what we're going to talk about next is how I'm actually going to do the cover photo for these Carter Brown books, as like you would have seen yesterday's thumbnail. I'm probably going to steal that and use it again today, actually, because I might even delist or remove that video, seeing what the feedback on this video is like. But what I'm going to do is I'm probably going to get a box of these Carter Brown books. Potentially, I might do some research. I might actually throw it through ChatGPT and say, hey, look, give me a list of the top selling or top 10 valuable Carter Brown books. Whatever that comes out with, what I'll do is hopefully find them in here. I did do some little bit of research besides what I spoke about yesterday. I told you I wasn't going to take much time on this. Couldn't help myself. The beauties of being me. I think he wrote about 270 novels, so there's close to almost a full set in these boxes. So what I'll do is I'll get those 10 books. I will basically lay them out. And if you have seen my Star Wars listing, you may have seen a couple of other listings. I normally lay them out all flat, then put the books on top of it, just to give the impression there's a lot of stuff there. So that's what I'll be doing with these ones. And like I said, I'll be focusing on the ones that probably have the higher price point, or maybe even the more rare ones. I know that probably works hand in hand, but not always. So that's pretty much what I'm going to do in regards to the Carter Brown books. Like I was saying, is that I have found some success with the Star Wars books, the vintage Star Wars books, and I don't have any here on me at the moment. They're over there. So like I was saying, is that it generally takes a couple of days to get through the algorithm, start working. Then people will pick them up in 3-4 book lots, and that's from previous experience, right? I have said previously I was quite big into manga. Manga has since died off for me. I don't know if that's because the market's cooled off, which I think it has, or alternatively, I'm not getting it as much as I was, and then basically not putting it into the store, therefore basically going a bit stale and a bit crap, or everyone's cherry-picked what it is from that way. Devil May Cry did sell yesterday. That was part of the bit that I cut out, the one that we drove down 20 minutes, sorry, an hour return, Ava and I, to go pick up. So that's $135 there. But going back to the manga, I would do these books individually. I did them for $19.90 free postage. I did them for $9.99 plus postage. I can't move these things. And I have said in the past videos, if you are looking for manga, reach out to me. I'll sell it to you for $2 a book. That's primarily pretty much everything I've got there. So there's some mangas that are worth probably $10 plus postage, and also some that are probably worth that $40, $50 stuff. I don't want it. I want to use that bookcase for stuff like Carter Brown, stuff like lines of that. It has been sitting around long enough. It's been in the store for probably 2 to 3 years. I'm little anti end and cell similar, or the nuclear reset at the moment. My store's going great guns. It's going a little bit insane, so I don't want to ruin that momentum. So we have been selling some books. I did reach out to another eBay seller with selling Skylanders at the moment. I did buy a bulk lot off him. He reached out to me and asked if I wanted another bulk lot, so we've sealed the deal on that. So if you are watching, mate, I hope you are, because I was going to say to you before you did the listing, just watch today's video, because you could have just reached out to me and I would have bought them from that way. But as I've said before, your Skylander listings need work. I'm not being critical, I'm not being a prick, don't take it the wrong way. They're too dark. Zoom right in. So I've got my camera now. I'm using actually, the issue with the audio yesterday was my charging port on the bottom of your camera, which is what the receiver plugs into, is broken. And I need to get it fixed. Either pay $150 for a new charging port for an iPhone 12 or get a new phone. I'm really, really, really up in the air at the moment. I'm using my daughter's iPhone 12 mini. So it's like looking at this little tiny thing. Normally when I'm videoing myself, I can see like really, really big, but I feel like this really small person on the screen at the moment. So as other people have said, what you normally do is go into your camera, click the little arrow up the top if you're using an iPhone, make it square or the one ratio. And when you take a photo of a Skylander, make sure you've got a well-lit area, and you want to take it as basically that it encapsulates the full photo. So might as well show you with the real one. So we've got Zook here, and I did make reference to this in Brad and Jazz's live last night. If I'm going to show you stuff, take note, do it. Don't. I'm not telling you for my own ego or anything along lines of that. Like I said, I want you to sell your stuff. If you sell your stuff, and you're good at selling your stuff in the sense that, you do sell your Skylanders, those people are going to come back, and more often than not, they're probably going to buy from me as well. So they buy your lot out, then they come back and buy my stuff out. So that's my reasoning behind don't screw people over. But when you're taking photos of Skylanders, that's probably how close you want to be to the Skylander. Like, it is really, really, really close. Don't take photos like this. Don't zoom in with your fingers. You really, really, really want to be maybe 3-4 inches apart. I'm not too sure how far that is, but like I said, don't hold them back, and make sure you have appropriate lighting, because there are some characters that are dark brown, and in not appropriate lighting, they disappear, and which is case in point in your listings. So either use Photo Room, which is I strongly recommend, because there is a feature that it turns the light on, so it lightens the image and goes from that way. Personally, I don't use it because I use natural light, and I find it washes out too much. However, in your photos, I'd strongly suggest probably having a look at that, and don't sell broken characters. Well, not tell you again. So we've talked about Carter Brown. I will do what's sold now that I've got my video, I've got my other phone. I can talk about things. I can almost be like a proper YouTuber. Maybe I will get to 50,000 by the end of the week. So I picked this up. Probably it's been a lot longer than I was expecting. The sell-through rate on this. So it is probably a brand new. Probably is. It's a new and open box Panasonic CD Walkman on Discman. It's not a Discman because Discman is Sony, but you know what a Discman is. This is what it is, right? So I paid $30 for this on Facebook Marketplace. Best part, probably 8 or 9 months ago. The Flipwise data hasn't picked up when I listed this, so probably just say 9 months ago. Paid $30 for it. Did have it for $400 because why not? Recently dropped it down to $200, and someone reached out and asked me for $169 plus post. So it's off to Canada at the moment. Thank goodness for Canada. I love Canada. I've said numerous times, a lot of my sales go to Canada. An obscene amount of Canadian sales. So they paid $70 in postage because I'm band 5. I'll probably make $20 on the postage, which goes towards the cost of the box and packaging materials. Not really, from that way. So what I'm going to talk about, board games as well. So this is going to be a complete, I won't say idiot's guide because I'm the idiot. I don't want to be patronising or condescending. So we'll say a complete idiot's guide. And when you hear that, it's me I'm talking about, right? So these are Dark Soul board games. If you are a gamer in some capacity, you probably know From Software, which is Dark Souls and Bloodborne and Demon Souls and all those different things. Elden Ring as well. So Dark Souls and Bloodborne have board games on them. So this is an expansion set. This is the Iron Keep. Yeah, it is. Look at me go. I'm somewhat competent today. So this one has box damage. This is the second one I've got. The first one I had was pristine condition, perfectly bubble wrapped. This one's got little tears in the, shrink wrapped. This one's got little tears in the shrink wrap, and it's got some box, looks like something's heavy been on it. It's not box damage per se, but probably imperfections. So I have said previously, let me talk, if I get more than one item, I will basically retake the photos of the worst item and relist it. So I've taken photos of this, I've turned the quantity to 2 and left it at the same price point because they are pretty rare. So I normally sell these for about $100. They are slowish movers. However, when we move into probably winter, I do foresee that board games probably will pick up from an Australian stance. I won't go to say perspective, but they will pick up because people are, especially in Canberra, it's cold. People are probably going to stay behind and stay inside and do their board games and all these different things. Not as cold as it gets in America or Canada, but pretty cold where I am. So, like I was saying, is that with the bubble wrap, with the box damage, this is the photos that you'll see on eBay at the moment. What I normally do is that when someone buys this one, not this particular one, but they buy this listing, what I'll do is I'll actually send them the pristine one. So they'll actually get the really good one first, and whoever buys the listing second, guess what, buddy? You get stuck with the one that you see on the listing. The reason why I do that for is because the person that comes through the door first gets a higher quality of service than they're expecting. So they're seeing this, they're seeing the box damage, they're seeing the little tear in the shrink wrap there. When it arrives, it's pristine condition. They're going to leave positive feedback, and no doubt they're probably going to come back and buy a couple more expansions for Dark Souls, because it's heaps. So the Phantom set, this one I have sold previously. So this one's just obviously a 1, which is fine. Character expansion, same thing. Pretty well, it's really interchangeable for the one that I currently have. It's no defects on this one. However, the Explorers Edition, if you are a bit of a board game fanatic, you'll see there's a big tear in the shrink wrap, and that's primarily just probably been stretched too far. I'm not too sure. It's been sitting somewhere, and that goes back to the same thing, right? So on the listing, it's going to have the front. I'll have the tear in the shrink wrap as the second photo, back, top, bottom, all those different things. And like what Rosie was saying yesterday with the variation listings, is that the reason why I had so much pushback with variation listings is because people, or my stance, and I think I've said it before on the podcast, well, the Octopus has, that people are inherently lazy, and that the amount of people that you'll see with variation listings, or you'll see with media listings in the sense of DVDs or books from very, very, very big companies like the Nile, for example, right? It'll be the front cover. It'll be probably just a scanned stock image. What I normally do, I'm going to move closer. I don't know how close I can get to this book, but with the What Bikini, this one always comes up. So someone buy it so I can get rid of it. So the front, the back, the spine, then what I'll do is basically probably take a photo of that little blemish there, so that will be one of the first ones. Like I have said previously, they were previously op shops or bookstores, when op shops and bookstores were probably functioning as op shops and bookstores or thrift stores. This one was $1, probably quite high back in the day. It's got a little bit of pencil there. I know, like I've said before, Mel back from Burnout normally gets the rubber out and erases it. However, I'm not going to attack I can't read. Oh, it doesn't even have a date. Let's just say a book from the 70s with an eraser. When someone buys it, and like I was saying from the comment from yesterday, these are almost collector editions, or in the sense the collector condition for the quality of them. And I've marked them all as acceptable. So on the variation listing, they're all acceptable regardless if they're in what some people would probably say like new condition or very good. If I was selling this by itself, it would be in acceptable condition primarily because of that, plus the writing and all these different things. But when people receive it, especially those people that collect it, they're probably going to think this is the best thing since sliced bread because of the quality. And like the comments were saying yesterday, is that these are so rare. Like they've been probably fallen apart over the age. When I was talking to Leanne for quite a long time the other day, she's saying that they fall apart so easily. They were made with the cheapest, crappest paper you can imagine, just to mass market them and get them out there. So, like I was saying, that's one of the reasons why I'm doing that. What else can we talk about? I don't know. I think that's it for us today. For once, I'm lost for words. But anyway, if you haven't already, please consider subscribing, liking the video. You don't have to share it. I don't know anyone that shares YouTube videos. I don't share YouTube videos. But like I was saying, if you do want to comment, let me know what your thoughts are with variation listings. And I know everyone was vocal yesterday, and thank you very much for that. It's just one of those things that the audio probably dampened a lot of that conversation yesterday, because a lot of people couldn't persevere with just the crap audio and the crap conditions. So I want to kind of bring that discussion points over to this video. We can talk about it in the comment section. I know Rye had his stance. David Quindell's David. As soon as you said that, mate, it clicked to me. I could hear Mel saying it. So all good. Like I was saying, is David. But yeah, like I was saying, is that it's good to have a variety of different stances. And like I said in yesterday's video, if you got that far, is that let me fail. Use me as a test subject. Use me as an experiment. You might not be like variation listings, but have you used them before? I'm not saying, this is not having a go at you or having a swipe. I was anti-variation listings for a very long time. And like I said, I smashed into the Skylander market with variation listings, and now I'm one of the top 3 sellers in Skylanders for the variation listings, due to the variation listings, right? And what I did say in yesterday's video is that when these books sell, that variation will be deleted or written over. So in the sense that that variation won't get to, just say, 2 months down the track, and that 70% of it's out of stock, because it's not a replenishable item for me. The likelihood of me coming across another bulk lot of these is probably not existent. And it's probably words travelled in the community of Carter Brown now that my dad's an old pervert that likes smut detective novels. So I don't know how many times I can probably use him as an excuse to get it. But still, Dungeon Masters, I can throw my brother under the bus for that one. But yeah, like I was saying, is that let me know if you have tried variation listings before, what's your experience with them before, and if you haven't, why haven't you? And I know a lot of people put their comments in yesterday, and I know a lot of people put in the comments in before when I spoke about it. However, like I was saying, is just watch me. We'll use it as a social experiment. You're more than welcome. I will put the listing in the description when it goes live, not this video, probably concurrent videos. So you can go in there, see how it's progressing, completely transparent. You can see what I've done, how I've worded it, how it's progressing. I think I chose that twice, and go from that way. So you can actually get an idea of, all right, cool. And like I said, in 2 weeks' time, 4 weeks' time, 6 weeks' time, I might come back and go, hey guys, you're completely right. I completely made a dick of myself. Variation listings for books are completely shit. However, like I've said before, I sold Star Wars ones with variation listings, so I'm right. That's a joke. Anyway, we'll catch you next time. Bye.